Nobody told them. You better get that in writing. And here's the woman that you need to know. There's someone you should know. So what do you want to do? I just want to get in the business. There's someone you should know. So do you know who Harry Fox is? You told me to do from church to the big. There's someone you should know. But where do I need to go? The Professor Butler Show.
Good morning. Okay, that's not good enough. I gotta be awake 9 o'clock, so do you. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, I'm Professor Butler. I'm an entertainment attorney. Been an entertainment attorney for about 14 years. Was a record company executive for about 8 of those years. Right now, I run the music business program at the University of Memphis. Have been doing that for about 7 years. I'm going to pack your brains with just about everything I know about copyright. Well, not quite. So you're going to have a little bit of a brain freeze before you leave this morning. So you might want to take notes. I've done a little bit of an outline so you can follow the outline. And there were some questions that were posed to me throughout this weekend, so I'm going to try to answer some of those questions as well. I want to get a couple of quick things out of the way, though, before we start. First of all, yes, I know my tie is long. Don't worry about it. It's a men's tie. You know they don't sell women's ties, so it's the only thing I can find. And it's long on both sides, one of those zipper ties, so I can't make it that short. So that's number one. Number two, you are free to ask me questions throughout and interrupt me at any time. I'm not one of those lecturers that just talks, and you can't talk back to me. You're free to, it's an educational session. And even if it weren't an educational section, this is the way I teach anyway. But if you have a question, hold on to your question for a minute or two. And I tell you why. There's a good chance that I'm about to answer it. I've been doing this for a long time, so I pretty much can anticipate what you're about to ask. So if you do have a question, hold on to it for a second or two before you ask, because I'm probably about to answer. And number three, just have a good time, because I'm going to give you a real-life scenario that I experienced, and I'm going to teach you about copyright and a little bit about trademark as we go through that scenario. So don't feel like, you can't laugh at something that's funny or, so just enjoy yourself. I want you to have a good time. Because I'm really passionate about my subject. I really love this stuff. I've loved it ever since I learned about it in law school. So I want you to love it too, okay? All right, so when I first started teaching around 7 years ago, I got a chance to attend my first college football game live. And I was really excited about watching the halftime show so I could see the band, right? So the band performance was fabulous. They did their thing on the field and everything. So after the band, I get ready to get up and go to a concession stand. And one of my students says, "Hold on, Professor Butler, you're going to miss American Idol." I said, "American Idol? What are you talking about?" "They're going to do the American Idol game on the field." And lo and behold, 2 students come out onto the field. And the announcer says, "Okay, we're going to get ready to play the American Idol game. And what's going to happen is 2 students are going to come out on the field, and each of them are going to sing. And then the crowd gets to holler and scream and vote, right, as to which one is the best singer." And I'm like, well, I don't want to sit through this mess, right? I teach at the School of Music, so I get to hear real singers, right? So I'm like, okay, what's the big deal? So I sit there, and right before the game starts, they show a clip on the Jumbotron of the American Idol theme song from the real American Idol TV show. I swear I want to pee in my pants. Now, for the average person in the audience, this is no big deal. We're about to play the American Idol game, and this is the American Idol theme song, right? It's the clip, the introduction to the actual American Idol TV show, right? And we're about to play American Idol. What's the big deal? Well, it is a big deal because I know darn well that those students did not get permission to use that clip, right? And I am really serious about property rights. That clip belongs to somebody. And I am so serious about property rights. My family, like for example, whenever I go to LA is where I'm from, right? We have like a bootleg DVD rule in the house. They don't watch bootlegs when I'm there. They don't watch, seriously, when I'm there, out of respect for what I do for a living, because I've been personally affected by bootleg DVDs. Matter of fact, it took me 2 hours to convince my Big Mama. Big Mama's my grandmother. She's 88 years old, right? It took me 2 hours to convince her that, number one, just because that copy of Passion of the Christ that she bought at the nail salon had plastic on it, was shrink wrapped, does not mean that it was an original copy. And I also had, the only thing that really made me convince her that it was not a bootleg was that I had to tell her, look, Big Mama, people do not get up and get popcorn in the middle of the crucifixion.